Okay, this is question 10, Junior Certs higher level mock paper. It's kind of a ratios question with a little bit of algebra involved as well. So if we start off by looking, the table below contains the nutritional information on the packaging from a 120 gram serving of yogurt. The proteins is going to be our kind of standard for how to work out the rest of them. All right, so if we have 8.5 grams per 100 gram, and you have 10.2 grams per 120. Well, you can kind of think of that as 8.5 is kind of like 100%, and this is 120%. So if I multiply 8.5 by 1.2, that gives me 10.2. So I'm going to do the very same to 55. So for the calories, 55 multiplied by 1.2. All right, if I put that into my calculator, so 55 multiplied by 1.2 gives me 66. So 66 grams here. Okay, and then it tells me that this is 3% of the recommended daily allowance. So what's my daily allowance then? Well, in that case, what they're essentially saying is that 3% is equal to 66 grams. So 1% is going to equal 66 divided by 3, which is 22 grams. We don't want the 1%, we want 100%, the total daily allowance. So 100% is going to equal 22 multiplied by 100, which is 220 grams. So 220 grams goes there. As for the carbohydrates, slightly different approach now. We don't know what the 100% is, but we know what the 120% is. All right, so if we had to multiply 55 by 1.2 to get 66, in this case, we're going to divide 7.8 by 1.2 to get the per 100 grams. So 7.8 divided by 1.2 gives me 6.5. So I get 6.5 grams, 6.5 grams here. All right. And again, it tells me the total daily allowance and what's 7.8 as a percentage of 260. Well, to find a percentage of anything, take the amount you're looking for. We're looking for 7.8 as a percentage, divided by the total amount, which is 260, and multiply your answer by 100. And if you do that, so you can do this on your calculator, 7.8 over 1.2 multiplied by 100 gives me 650. That's definitely wrong because I've put the wrong thing in. Let's try that again. My bad, I was reading this here. I should have been reading this here. So 7.8 over 260 multiplied by 100 gives me 3%, which is what I'm going to put in this section here. Okay. Part B, the following formula can be used to find out the average recommended daily calorie intake for a teenager, where C is how many calories, H is the height in centimeters, W is the weight in kilograms, and A is the age in full years. So calculate the recommended daily calorie intake for a 12-year-old. So straight away, A is equal to 12, all right, with a height of 132, H is equal to 132, and weight is equal to 36. All right, and we're trying to work out what C is. We don't know what that is. So I'm just going to use the formula as it is here. So C is going to equal H, which is 132, divided by 0.58, added to 10.3 multiplied by the weight, which is 36. Subtract away 4.7 times the age, which is 12, and then add 855 to that altogether. Now you can put this into your calculator all at once, but just be careful when you do it that way. So watch, I'll show you what I mean. If I take the fraction here, that's 132 over 0.58. Make sure you hit this button here to move up to the next part. You are adding. Now this is a multiplication. If you put in the multiplication straight away, if I just say 10.3 multiplied by 36, your calculator can get a bit confused. So what I recommend you do here, lads, is give it its own bracket. So bracket times 10.3 multiplied by 36 and close off the bracket. So the calculator knows to do this calculation first and then everything else. All right. Subtract away minus, is that visible? No. Subtract away minus 4. Again, I'm going to give it its own brackets. 4.7 multiplied by 12. Close the bracket off and add 855. And I get 1396.986,207. And it says calculate the answer to two significant figures. So to two significant figures, I just round it up and I get 1396.99. Okay, and that is your answer. That's how many calories. All right, so actually, do you know what? I'd say that's probably rounded up to 1397 calories. All right. Make H the subject of the formula. So this is a manipulation of formula. So to do this, I would recommend writing out the formula again. So you start off C is equal to H over 0.58. Remember, this is the guy we want to make the subject of. When we say the subject of, we mean we want everything in this formula to equal H. All right. So this is plus 10.3W minus 4.7A plus 855. So whenever I'm doing one of these, I identify what I want to get rid of straight away. All right, the H is divided by 0.58. I'm going to have to get rid of that 0.58 at some stage, but it seems like getting rid of these guys is relatively straightforward. I just subtract 10.3W away from here. So 0.10.3W. Right? Remember, what you do to the right-hand side, you have to do to the left. So if I took it away from here, I'm taking it away from here, which is why I have minus 10.3W there. To get rid of minus 4.7A, I'm going to add 4.7A. Okay? And to get rid of 855, I'm going to take away 855 on the left-hand side. Because I haven't done anything to this C, he stays where he is. And all of that is equal to H over 0.58. All right? I want H by itself. H is divided by 0.58. So I want to multiply this side by 0.58. And I want to multiply everything here by 0.58. So to do that, to just be left with H, now I'm just going to write H on the left and everything else. Everything here gets multiplied by 0.58. So 0.58 bracket minus 10.3W plus 4.7A minus 855. Oh, and plus C. I knew I was forgetting something there. Plus C. Okay? And that's it. H is now the subject of the formula. Using your answer to part 2 or otherwise, calculate the height of a 14-year-old with a weight of 44 and a recommended calorie intake of 1,520. So let's have a look. We have A is equal to 14. We have W is equal to 44. And we have C is equal to 1520. And this time, H is the thing we don't know. But we now have a formula we can use here. So H is equal to 0.58 times minus 10.3 times the weight, which is 44, plus 4.7 times 14, because that's the age, minus 855 plus 1520, which is the amount of calories. All right. So you can put this all in at one go, but I think it might actually be a bit neater if we multiply out what's inside first of all. So I'm sure you can see that. So minus 10.3 multiplied by 44 gives me minus, so 0.58 is going to be multiplied by minus 453.2 plus 4.7 by 14, which is 65.8 minus 855 plus 1520, which is going to equal 0.58 multiplied by. So let's add all these numbers together. So I'm starting with minus 453.2 plus 65.8 minus 855 plus 1520. That gives me 277.6. So I just multiply these two guys together, multiply him by 0.58, and I get 161.008. And it says round to the nearest centimeter. Well, that's 161 centimeters. And that is question 10 complete.